So for today's upload, I'm going to be participating in an eyeshadow palette tag that I watched on my friend Leah McDonald's channel. I will link her channel down below and the tag that she did. I highly recommend that you check her out. She's a wonderful woman. So I do not own too many eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to sing, and while I sing, I'll show you the palettes. And then after I finish singing, I will continue with the tag. I hope that you enjoy. Drive on the streets 'cause she's my companion. I walk through her hills 'cause she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she kisses me windy, and I never worry, now that is a lie. And I don't ever want to feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love, take me all the way. I don't ever want to feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love, take me all the way. Nobody out there. It's hard to believe that I'm all alone. At least I have her love. The city, she loves me. Lonely as I am, together we cry. And I don't ever wanna take me to the place I love, take me all the way. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love, take me all the way. Underneath the bridge downtown, So I hope that you enjoyed that rendition of Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers. So let me just grab my phone. I have the tag questions in a picture saved. Okay, so newest palette. So if you have seen my most recent upload prior to this one, this is the Cal Chic palette, and it came in my May Boxy Charm. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this palette. It is very beautiful. I'm sure that someone could get some use out of it, just not me. I'm not into coppers and burnt oranges and reds, and there's a lot of those colors in this palette, so I will be passing this on to someone, but that is my newest palette. My oldest palette, so I would have to say that my oldest palette here would be one that I purchased during a Sephora sale some time ago. This is the Rose Gold Remastered. It's very beautiful, and not surprisingly, given that I'm a neutrals girl, I have hit pan on the neutral shades. I love the Huda Beauty eyeshadow formulation. I know that everyone has their preference, everyone has their own thoughts on different companies and different formulations within the shadow, but I have zero complaints with any of Huda's palettes, and I own 3 of them. So I quite enjoy her palettes. The most expensive palette that I own, again, if you have watched any of my recent uploads, this was a Mother's Day gift from my husband and my children. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury The Icon palette. Now, Wayne Goss mentioned in one of his uploads that he loves Charlotte. He loves her products. However, this particular palette to him looked like stock. It didn't match the luxurious presentation that her quads have, but the formulation is still amazing. I don't mind, as I mentioned in my upload where I spoke about this palette, I like this layout because again, it's supposed to go in columns. You can mix and match however you want, but it's very nicely laid out in the sense that it doesn't require a lot of thought. And who wants to think when they're putting on their makeup, right? Nobody. So that was my most expensive. Next, I will go on to my most affordable. I'm probably going to have to go with my Bare Minerals, Bare Naturals palette. And this is also going with another, let me just see, category in this. This is going to go for 2 categories. So most affordable as well as no longer available. So the reason I'm saying that this is no longer available is because I purchased this at Winners. So, excuse me. This again, neutral colors, very nice for every day. I think I paid $24 for it at Winners. I think it was valued at $35 or something like that. So I don't reach for this as often as I used to, but that's because I will speak about another palette soon. But this would probably be my second most reach for no fuss, no muss palette. Just you can't make a mistake with this palette. So next up would be the most colorful. So I'd probably have to say that's a tie. And I'm going to say that the most colorful tie would go to my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde, as well as my Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered. Now the opacity in this one is obviously greater, but the colorfulness, in my opinion, goes to this one. Now for those of you that are thinking, those are not colors. For me, who gears or is neutrals are like a magnet for me, these are colorful for me. And the colors that I've hit pan on in this one too are the more neutral shades, but I love both. I love both equally. So I would say those are my most colorful. Smallest would go to either the Charlotte Tilbury or the Cali Chic. This one is smaller width-wise, but length-wise it's taller than the Charlotte Tilbury. So a little bit of math there. Best memory. So I'm not going to go into a huge rant, but let me tell you something. This New Nudes palette probably has the best memory for me. And I'm going to try to do this story or share this story in about 3 minutes or less. If you are a makeup lover, or doubly, if you shop at Sephora, you may recall the 88 off debacle associated with Sephora from, I believe it was last February, 2019. So again, I'm trying to condense this story. Somehow a code that was supposed to be a one-time, one-use or single-use code, which was 88 off, was shared on various platforms. This code, when you ordered from Sephora and you entered it, it came up as the Lunar New Year code, and you received 88% off of your order. So if you ordered something for $100, you got $88 off of that order, which, as you can imagine, sounds too good to be true, and it's phenomenal. Now, when I read this online, I thought, too good to be true. So I phoned in my order and tried to apply it, and wouldn't you know, it worked. So I put in my order and thought, holy smokes, this is amazing. Now, the next day, when I went to confirm that my order had gone through, I received an email from Sephora saying, as per your request, your order has been canceled. And I went, I didn't cancel any order. So I called up customer service, who then proceeded to explain that this code was invalid and blah, 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 blah. I said, how can it be invalid when I called in my order and spoke with one of your representatives who accepted the order? You can't say it's computer error. You can't say a human being that works for you accepted the order, entered it into the computer. So how about you just give me my 88% off? Now, I don't want to start a big war here in, he said, she said, this is right, this is wrong. I don't want to judge. I'm just saying. So what I decided to do was I decided to take this as a learning opportunity and an educational opportunity. I was teaching grades 6, 7 at the time. Again, I'm trying to condense the story. And we work on persuasive writing as one of our writing expectations for each grade. So persuading people in your writing or with your writing. So I decided to, again, take this as a learning opportunity for my class. I explained the situation, and I wrote a letter to head office in San Francisco of Sephora. And I got a blue ink printout back mailed to me. This garbage letter that said nothing other than what the supervisor I had spoken with on the phone had told me. This could have been to any Jane Doe anywhere in the world. Not personalized, nothing, didn't reference specifically the points I had made in my letter to them. So I then took it upon myself. I'm not sure if everyone knows, but Sephora is I believe it's a subsidiary of Louis Vuitton. So I decided to write to the president of Louis Vuitton and the vice president with my class. I shared the letter with them. We composed it together, that kind of thing. Input, added things, modified it. And lo and behold, I got a response back. And I was connected with the director of Sephora for all of Eastern Canada. Now, I will tell you, this woman was phenomenal. She was great. She supplied me with tickets to the grand opening of a store near me when it opened. I got the friends and family discount off. It was great. I took my daughters. I'll insert a picture here if I can of us at the opening. But this woman and I won't mention her name just because it's not relevant to the story. Just the point is there. We met at Scarborough Town Centre. After emailing back and forth for a bit, and she bought me a coffee at Starbucks, and we chatted for a good hour, and we left on great terms, and it was a great meeting. It was very pleasant. It was such a nice wrap up to the whole issue that I had brought up with my students. And at one point they had said, "Oh, miss, give it up, nothing's going to happen." I said, I am not giving up. Just, this is persuasive writing, so let's use what we know, use facts, word it respectfully, word it assertively, word it factually, and let's see what happens. And look what happened. So now I will wrap up the story. After I met with the director for all of Eastern Canada for Sephora, she sent me a care package. And this palette was in the care package, along with my Too Faced chocolate bar palette, the Hourglass Caution mascara, some of the Bauble elastics, and it was great. It was the icing on the cake. It was the sparkler candles on the cake. It was just a great experience overall. Okay, so I just needed to share why this had great memories. So, worth the hype. I'm going to pick worth the hype. I am going to pick this palette, the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette, and I'm going to tie this in with my favorite palette from a favorite brand, part of the tag. This is what I have on my eyes today. Just going to lean in. Now, for me, I have blue eyes. They can tend to kind of shift colors depending on what I'm wearing, but every single color in this palette is so complementary to my eyes. I don't have to try with this palette even. It comes with a little brush. I keep it out because it's one of those where it falls out, you know, every time you open it. But it's got kind of the blending part on this, and then it's got the kind of a more of a shading type applicator at the other side. And I just use my color switch. But I love this palette so much. As you can see, these ones I've hit pan on because they're more neutral. But I can't, for those of you that are neutral lovers, I cannot recommend this palette enough. So that will fall under two categories, which was the favorite and which was, for me, in my opinion, worth the hype. Not worth the hype. I have nothing to share. And the reason is because, like I said, I declutter often. Clutter stresses me out. So if I don't like a palette, I just give it to my daughters or get rid of it. Favorite palette from a favorite brand, I just shared most used. So I'm going to say my most used is probably a tie right now between the Naked Honey and the Charlotte Tilbury, the Icon palette. I'm really enjoying both of those. Most underrated, I'm going to pick the same that Leah McDonald did, and I'm going to pick the ABH Carly Bible collab. A lot of people talked about this on YouTube, and they just said they weren't impressed. There was nothing great about this. If you like color, but you don't want to commit to shocking color, I think this is a wonderful palette. I think the colors are so beautiful, and you can go as intense or as blown out or blended out as you want. So in my opinion, this is an underrated palette. Favorite limited edition, not necessarily favorite, like I said, but just because I got it at Winners, I'm picking that one. And I can't remember if I shared my biggest. Did I share my biggest, the Iconic London palette? I can't remember, but this is my biggest palette. This I got in, I think it was a March BoxyCharm, and I do like the colors, again, neutral. But I just don't reach for it as often as I do the smaller palettes. I don't know why. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this palette. It's just, it is a big palette. And then during my singing, I was sharing the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the loose glitter kit. I know this is not a palette, but because it comes with 5 glitters and the adhesive, and this is an eye product, I just shared this. I really used this a lot around the holidays. You don't have to limit it to the holidays, but I wanted to include it. So again, I will go over what I have or what I shared. So the glitter kit, 1, that was the ABH. The Iconic London, 2. My 3 Huda Beauty palettes. So 3, 4, 5. My Carly Bible, 6. My Naked Honey, 7. My Charlotte Tilbury, 8. My Too Faced chocolate bar, 9. And my Bare Minerals, Bare Naturals, 10. Now, in case you think there's one missing, it's the Cali Chic, but the thing is I'm giving this away, so I'm not going to count it in the shadows that I own or in my collection. So yeah, so if you haven't checked out Leah's video already, I would highly recommend it. I enjoyed watching it, and she has a massive collection of makeup, so you get a lot of choice and a lot of variation in her upload. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. It has just started to pour here where I live. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. I would really appreciate it. And as always, please leave a comment down below. I love to interact with anyone who's watching my videos. So I'll see you later. Bye.